I had to be someone I really deep down inside wasn't. I had to wear a suit and tie, and I had to follow, the industry, and I had to be like what the industry shared with me. And 12 years ago when I began this path, I knew that it was important for me to be me. And so what I wear, how I speak, and what my beliefs and thoughts are, that's me. And I'm very, very happy. It makes you even happier when you can be yourself. That's when you even find more happiness. It's just when you are being yourself, and that's who I am. So yeah, I'm very. My brother's he's a little jealous of me because his hairline's receding a little bit.
Sure hate that for him. That's great. Yeah, Teresa, I love her. When my aunt, I'm friends with Chip Coffey, and I'm friends with, a couple of other psychics, but I don't ever ask to be read because it's just kind of like a thing you don't do. And, they know too much anyway, you know what I mean, when they're friends with you. So I don't want to get into that. So my aunt paid for this, what I thought was going to be a lady. I could go and sit down, and she would be like Teresa Caputo and turn her little recorder on and get her notebook out and, her little Italian self and just go to town. And it wasn't like that. And I was kind of bummed out. But that's the lady who actually opened my eyes up to me being an empath. And it was like, well, I didn't get what I needed about my mom, and I didn't get what I needed about my best friend. But, wow, you really showed me that I wasn't bipolar like I had been misdiagnosed. You know what I mean? People would get misdiagnosed all the time being empath or having abilities because the scientists, the doctors, they can't pinpoint that or have any studies to figure that out because it hasn't been figured out. When I ask other psychics how your messages come through, they have no explanation. It just happens. Or sometimes I get messages like little movies or something like that. I get all kinds of answers, but the doctors can't say, because I'm picking up somebody else's emotions that I'm not bipolar. They're thinking that because I can go from being happy to being sad if I get near somebody, that I'm, bipolar. I'm like, that's not the case. So all the medications that they could give one with abilities does no good. You're still feeling that stuff until you learn how to shield and ground. And see, that's where I'm in the learning process because, I've only been, I won't say diagnosed an empath, but I was told I was an empath a little over a year ago. So now I'm trying to, after 40-some-odd years of soaking in everybody's mess, I'm trying to do the shielding and grounding part and learn and let them have their stuff. That's kind of hard to do.
Well, I've had many ask me, they say, do you turn it on and turn it off? And it's like,
right.
No, there's no turning on and turning off when it's life. And so it's always been throughout my life, a part of my life. Those in spirit, I see them, I hear them. They're just a part of my life. I go into retail stores. People ask me if I go into retail, are they there? And it's like, well, why wouldn't they be? They're around those they care about. So, but it's more of not grounding it. To me, it's not more grounding and shielding. It's more acceptance. It's just accepting this is what it is. And once you accept it, then you start giving it an opportunity to be part of your life. I will go, just over the weekend, we went to a restaurant, and we were sitting there having dinner, and I looked over at the table, and there was a family there, but next to the family was this older male, female, standing there behind him, and I thought, well, their grandparents, their grandparents are standing there with them, and so, it's just, but it didn't interfere. They also understand, those in spirit understand that there's a lot of respect in those in spirit, and we can learn from them, but they also understand and respect me that I'm living my life each day as well, so they're not going to interfere with my life in any way, and they're not going to step in when when I'm in focusing on my life each day as well. But you just accept what is there.
Okay. Well, that sounds a lot easier than trying to shield stuff off that don't even know, sometimes if it's mine or theirs. I really don't know. I mean, I can sometimes tell because when I'm perfectly fine and I'm happy-go-lucky and I walk into a room and I get next to somebody and I start picking up all their mess, then I know for sure, okay, that's theirs. So I just need to start, instead of trying to push it off, I need to go, yep, that's their stuff, then let's let them have it. You know what I mean?
Yes, and you just accept it. You accept that, and you do. Now, as I share with everyone, you have control. We give and I'm on television. I do television things, but television is brought to where it appears as though that the spirit, that the ghost, the spirits, or the whatever the entities, whatever you want to call it, they have the control. They do not have the control. We tend to forget that we're the ones that have control. We can choose. We can choose when to have a conversation with them. Just like if we want to have a conversation with a friend, that is a friend of ours. If we are busy with something else, we don't. If the friend calls us, we can share with them. Not at this time. Call me later. And it's the same thing. We just tend to. So often we tend to feel that, and it has a lot to do with fear. We tend to have those in spirit to feel like those in spirit have control over us. We actually have the control, and when you have the control and the confidence and the removal of fear within yourself, that is when your abilities really begin to grow even more.
Right, and I've noticed that after I've accepted that those dreams that I might have had a long time ago that resulted in someone else dying or whatever, that was not my fault. You take when you're 12 years old, though, you take that on as, oh my God, if I wouldn't have dreamed that, they would be alive. If I wouldn't have dreamed that, then that plane wouldn't have crashed. Well, see, that's not something that you can control. But when you're 12 and then you kind of shut down, it's real hard to open back up. Now I'm starting to open back up, and now I'm starting to get like names out of nowhere and other voices, and I'm like, okay, tell me that's not like schizophrenia. I don't want it to be that. And they're like, no, quit doubting yourself, and it will open up more. Stop doubting and stop questioning what's coming so much. I mean, if you don't want to say it out loud, write it down. You know what I mean? But it's been kind of like that for me, and it's getting a little bit better. But I have learned, I have come to more of a peace within myself, knowing that, all those things that happened and all the things that I dreamed are not my fault. They are just part of what I'm being shown.
Right.
And I should be honored and feel grateful that I have that gift and can at least know that I have that gift,
And just reflect on this a little bit, Selena. I share with everyone, if you have very young children, babies 2, 3 years old, the young children are very, very perceptive. And the reason they're perceptive is they just accept. They haven't been told it's something to be frightened of. They haven't been told it's imagination, it's coincidence yet. They just accept that what they see, what they hear is here. And so if you have young children, pay attention to them because they are sharing with you what they're seeing and hearing. But again, as I shared earlier, as you grow up, we're told that it's coincidence and imagination and fear. And just as you shared, around the age of 12, when we're starting to get a little older, then because of the years that we've been told these things, we begin to be frightened of. If we have a dream I call them a sleep state message, you receive a message while you're sleeping through the connection of your spirit with them, then when you wake up at 12 years old and this actually occurs, you automatically feel you had something to do with it. And that's just a part of the process of being at that age. Just like with me growing up, I accepted it, but I even tried to ignore it because I wanted to be at the time I wanted to be just a regular person. I wanted to be like everyone else. Well, 12 years ago, and even farther than that, I began understanding that this is a part of life, and whether individuals want to be skeptical about it, whether individuals do not want to believe it, that's okay, because being skeptical just means you're simply still learning to understand, and that's fine. But we all have these abilities, and again, it's just the key is to know that you have control, know that you have abilities, and begin evolving those abilities. And we're going to have fun where we're going to be in a couple weeks, by the way.
Oh, I know, and it's going to be very interesting. You know, I've watched the movie Tombstone I don't know how many times, and I freaking love every bit of it, and I cannot believe I get to actually walk the same streets as the actual, you know, guys, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I can't believe we get to go to Tombstone. But
well, this will be my first experience there. I've been anywhere you've seen on television. I've been there, but Tombstone is one of the places I have not been yet. But I feel like it's going to be very similar to the other historical places I've actually been to. And when I go to historical places like Tombstone, for example, Gettysburg is a place that I've frequented several times. Whenever I am there, it's almost like stepping back in time. I begin acknowledging those and invite the Spirit who will share with me, this is how it was in our life, and this is what we look like in our life, and this is what happened and occurred here in our life. And it's literally giving you, you're stepping back in time and you're getting to observe the experiences they had. And I'm sure it'll be the same thing in Tombstone. We'll be able to connect with those. You know, I'm going to be speaking, I believe, in Doc Holliday's saloon. I'm doing a gallery thing there, I believe, and it's like, you know, and it's like, well, I hope Doc's there so I can talk with him a little bit as well, you know. So.
Oh man, that's going to be amazing. You know, there's so much history just in that town. Period. Too Tough to Die, and you know, all of us have been counting down the days. I'm serious. I cannot tell you how excited we all are, except for maybe Randy Hardy when I told him that there were scorpions and snakes and he had to wear cowboy boots and possibly ride on the back of my horse. I don't think he was real thrilled about that news. He's from New Orleans. He goes, man, I don't know about all that.
I'm not too thrilled about the snakes myself, but you know,
no.
I'm going to make sure. I'm going to make sure that I'm okay. So
yeah, right.
But
yeah, I don't do those either.
And again, just you know, I just want to say tonight, I'm just, it's an honor, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it, and to be a part of this event, and you know, it's going to be for those that's going to be attending here. It's going to be an experience I know you're going to leave and just will never forget. And for those who haven't or not a part of it yet, if it's May, I believe May the 1st to 3rd. Is that right, Selena?
Yes, it is. May 1st to the 3rd, and they got tickets on. You go to that Facebook page, Haunting at Tombstone, and there's a link to get tickets. Dark Side Entertainment is putting it on, so they have the tickets, and there's like very few tickets left. I think there's like
Don't be one of those that says, "Well, I wish I would have gone." You know, go.
Go, yeah. I mean, who else gets to have all these locations? I mean, I know they closed the Bordello, so we don't get to go to there because that was out of our control. They sold it to someone else, and then the Larian, I don't know what the heck happened with that, but the rest of the locations, and then we got Four Deuces now, and we got Doc Holliday's, and we got Boo Hill, and we got 2 ghost towns, and I mean, come on. If that's not enough in itself, and just being in Tombstone with some cool people that have fun and are serious when it comes to investigations, and then you got Rick that is going to do a gallery for you, and I mean, how much fun is that going to be? I know I've sold so many tickets, so a lot of the people that are going to be there either kin to me or that I mean, a lot of people that will be there. I know there will be a lot more, but the most of the people I will know. So that will be really a lot of fun.
And I'm actually excited about the investigation. I'll be able to get, to just kind of I'm hoping to get to every investigation that's going on for at least a short bit of time. I just really enjoy working with paranormal investigators and going on investigations because, number one, the industry, the investigation industry and the paranormal has brought out some technology it just amazes me. Bill Chappell, a friend of mine, has created a lot of the technology being used, and he just blows my mind every time he comes out with something. And it's just, but it's to be these investigations and to see and hear and to share what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing and what they're relaying to me in messages, and then also that to be validated with the technology that we're using as well. It's a great teamwork effort, and and then the ballot, we have those things that go up in the night to give us validations as well. So, and I'm sure, and if you think about this.